We are continuing our coverage of the first American Pope in history. Pope Leo XIV was introduced at the Vatican today to millions around the world. For more on Pope Leo XIV's historic election, we go to the Archbishop of San Francisco, Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone, who joins us on the KCBS Ring Central Newsline. Archbishop Cordileone, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Glad to be with you.
All right, I'm sure you were watching with most of us today. What was your reaction when you realized that we had the first American Pope in the 2,000-plus year history of the Church?
Surprised and maybe even shocked, like so many other people. It shows where the world and the Church have changed. I never thought we would have an American Pope, but we truly have a universal Church. And I think, given his experience growing up in the United States, and most of his priesthood serving in Peru, and also experience in service, administrative service, in leadership in Rome. All of this, I think, is an excellent background for the role he's stepping into now as head of the Church.
What do you know about Cardinal Robert Prevost, now Pope Leo XIV?
Yes, well, I think all of a sudden we all are getting to know him quite well. He has a missionary heart. I can't say that I know him. I've actually never met him, but he gave us some insights in his opening speech, not only what he said, but there's one very subtle detail. Probably most people missed it, but I caught it because of my own personal experiences. You know, he was addressing the people in Italian, and at a certain point, he shifted into Spanish in order to greet the people from his old diocese of Chiclayo in Peru. And if you notice, if you look at it again, a big smile comes across his face at that point. So that tells me this is a man with a real pastoral heart. You know, he has bureaucratic experience in leadership, but he's not a bureaucrat. He's not a careerist. He's someone who has a real pastoral heart. And I think with the vision he has from the experiences of growing up, the missionary service in Peru and leadership, with this kind of vision, this kind of heart, I think we're in good hands.
He is 69 years old, so he could be around for quite some time as Pope. How would you like to see him shape the Catholic Church during his papacy?
Yes, well, of course, that depends on what you mean by shape the Church. In a certain way, the Pope doesn't shape the Church. The Church has her shape from Jesus Christ. He founded the Church and gave it her essential elements and her structure. The Pope certainly sets a tone. He can set a pastoral vision and chart that path forward. So I'm hoping that there are issues in terms of Church interacting with the world and internal life of the Church to promote an authentic vision of the human person. He took the name Leo XIV. I'm sure he was inspired by Leo XIII, who began the tradition of Catholic social teaching, applying gospel principles to economic issues, but with the full vision of the human person, not just a physical being with material needs, but spiritual and social as well. So I hope he can promote this vision of the human person as this broad range of issues that we're dealing with and help us to understand what it means to recognize human dignity in every condition and in every stage of life. I hope he can also help us as a Church. We had our Second Vatican Council back in the 1960s that kind of set a vision for us to proclaim the gospel in a changed world, and I hope he can recuperate more energy from that to recapture that vision of how we can work together as all members of the body of Christ in and under Christ our head to make the gospel better known and lived.
Archbishop Cordileone, you have recently written about how the Church can address those who are leaving Catholicism. I wonder, will naming an American Pope, Pope Leo XIV, help with that in the United States?
It certainly is an opportunity. I think he'll get a lot more attention from people in the United States, so it's just a matter of what he does with that. But I think it does present an opportunity for that.
What's your outlook on the Archdiocese of San Francisco in 2025 and as we move forward, especially following the naming of this Pope today?
Yes, well, we're living in a world that's more secular, less religiously inclined, but I see signs of resurgence all over the place. There seems to be a renewed kind of interest in religion and in spirituality. And I see a desire for what is transcendent, what is true, what is of true and lasting value. So I think we already had an opportunity with a kind of a shift in people's thinking about this. Kind of subtle, but it's beginning, especially among young people. And now that we have an American Pope, someone, like I said, I don't know him, I've never met him, but he seems to be someone very relatable, the way he presented himself there on the loggia when he came out after his election. So I think being someone so kind of relatable and a peacemaker and bridge builder, I think we have some added energy and momentum to build upon.
Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone, the Archbishop of San Francisco, Excellency, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. My pleasure.